there's some Revelator songs that I'm like, man, we got to bring those back. But we've done so many songs and albums. There's like so much to choose from that I guess we don't think about it all the time.
We need to get you a really good slide player in Nashville, and you guys need to cover a Derek Trucks song.
You know, he told me Susann wrote the song, which he was proud of. He said that with great pride, you know, the way you say nice things about your family.
From the first note with Tedeschi Trucks, they just blow you away.
Yes, we will. I wouldn't argue with anyone that says that could be my favorite song on I Am the Moon.
He, signs my ticket, and I look over at Susann. I say, Susann, would you sign it too? And she goes, oh, heck yeah.
Kevin calls me and was like, hey, man, what are you doing? I was like, nothing. He was like, Derek wants to record some tuba stuff. I said, when do you want to do it? And he was like, let's do it Wednesday.
It was Midnight Harlem. And it caught our attention, man. And we started diving deep, and we're like, okay, we got to see these guys.
What's up? Welcome to the unofficial Tedeschi Trucks podcast. This is episode number 179, and I'm Adam Choit. To follow the show, it's at Tedeschi Trucks Podcast on Instagram and on YouTube. Just search Tedeschi Trucks Podcast. If you're there, you're watching, please subscribe. I definitely appreciate that. Same on whatever platform you listen to podcasts on. I'll get out an audio version of this episode shortly after we're done here on the live stream tonight, tomorrow, soon for sure. Patreon.com/TTB podcast. I definitely appreciate the support. Definitely check out the perks. They support Mr. Holland's Opus Music Matters, Kofi Burbridge Music Matters Foundation. So you're supporting the show, so could have a chance to support that great cause as well, which helps bring music education and instruments into the hands of kids throughout the country. So thank you, Kathleen, Stacy, Troy, Daniel, Mariah, Marion, for supporting. What are we talking about today? TTB in Raleigh at the Raleigh Memorial Auditorium with, we're going to bring on momentarily Susann, Randy, and Jay to talk about that. Susann's first ever TTB show, and she's a hardcore fan seeing her first show. I'm sure it was very special. Also, yesterday was not Susann, but Susann Tedeschi's birthday. So happy birthday, Susann, which I think I've definitely communicated that message on various social media platforms and such at this point. But it looked like the band had a great time bowling for her birthday. They shared pictures of that, so we can pull up some of those as well and dig into the Thursday and Friday night show, and then Susann's birthday Saturday, and Susann's first show, and Jay and Randy's umpteenth, 30th, 40th, 50th, 60th show. So we'll get into all of it. Let's bring them in. What's up, y'all?
Hello.
What is cracking?
What's going on?
Hey. Oh, we're here. Welcome to this crazy world, Susann. I appreciate it. Good to connect with you for sure. Where are you and how are you?
I'm a little bit rested. I live just west of Indianapolis. TTB didn't come this year at Indianapolis, and I just decided that I needed to make sure I saw the band on this tour. Things happen, and I wanted to see these 12 performers, and I have a girlfriend who lives south of Raleigh, and she's been wanting me to come visit her for the past 3 years. So fortunately, this year was kind of my year to be able to get my groove back on, after the pandemic and life in general. And so I've had a fun concert season. Got to see Uncle Warren in Indianapolis. And then decided to drive 10 hours to Raleigh.
Nice. What a journey. But it sounds like you've been following TTB and been a fan for quite some time, at least 5+ years. It sounds like something like that.
Yeah. One of, on Facebook, your history pops up from time to time. It'll So 7 years ago, TTB was in Indianapolis, and I'm online typing, "Hey, is anybody out there want to go with me to see TTB?" And crickets, which was really sad. So yeah, it's definitely been that long, and I came to TTB, through the Brotherhood. Grew up listening to a lot of folk and a lot of blues. My dad was a diehard Eric Clapton fan. So earlier this year, actually on Derek's birthday, I was in Macon, Georgia, doing the Brother tour, and that was completely awesome. So it was perfect to go see them on Susann's birthday.
That is pretty special and cool that you were in Macon, and it's all these places and events and people sort of connect. And humble brag, I was with Derek on his birthday at the San Diego show.
All right.
I'm not gonna never bring that up when this comes up. but you got I know what you're gonna say about this, but it was Susann's birthday, and that you were there to celebrate that with her. Is that where we're going with the conversation?
Well, I mean, we did sing "Happy Birthday" to her during the encore.
And thank you for including that in the set list encore when you sent it to me.
Yeah.
All the important details. That's a song.
It is. It's a song, and
right.
I think guys, I think it was Gabe that got us started on that.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a decent rendition from the crowd, to be honest.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had this conversation before. Oh, go on.
No, I didn't realize that it was Bonnie Raitt's birthday.
Yeah, Susann had told the crowd that it was Joni Mitchell's birthday the day before. Bonnie Raitt's birthday was the day of the show, second night, and then hers is tomorrow, and then the crowd sang "Happy Birthday."
And of course, the Layla album was released the same day Susann was born, and that's obligatory to mention on this podcast every year around this occasion.
One of the streets, I think it's just north of the venue, because we had to go around a block to get to parking, and parking, by the way, was quite cheap. I was shocked. But anyway, one of the streets that we went down was Lenoir Street, which is Greg Allman's middle name. And it's like, oh!
We're all nutty.
You post that on the app. I didn't see the street. I saw you post that on the. I thought that was cool. I didn't see the street, but that's pretty cool.
We're all nutty to think of these things and notice these things, but I'm no different in noticing things. I've talked about being out in public and seeing certain colors or fonts and being like, "Is that a TTB t-shirt from afar?" Like seeing certain iconography. What's that word? I can't say that word, but certain things related to the band that remind me of them, or Allman Brothers, or whatever the case may be. Certain mushroom artwork reminds you of the Allman Brothers, of course.
Yeah, speaking of which, that's a good lead into. There was right into the posters there were this time.
Oh yeah, we can take.
Oh, good job, Randy.
Yeah. I definitely hard not to notice right away on the poster. I don't ever see all the details, nor do I know the things that are indicative to Raleigh per se. But I definitely noticed the mushrooms and Derek's guitar and Susann's guitar was the second night,
and the actual auditorium.
I love the auditorium in there,
yeah, that's a nice touch. And then it was Susann's, Eric's guitar the first night. That was nice.
Yeah, I don't notice any of this stuff until we're recording. And then I'm just looking at it, and incredible detail.
Frame, and I still all right. I don't see what everyone's gonna see later when we're talking about it, but sure. It's always awesome. Like this one was, they've been doing a lot of different things. Obviously, the artists, and some of them are animals, a lot of them are landscapes, and a lot of them they use obviously the instruments. I thought this one was pretty awesome with the, always when they throw the guitars, his and her guitars out there is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's what's amazing is that someone came up with this concept and this idea, and my brain would just never. I don't think my brain could go to this place on this sort of the depth of what's on here and just putting these elements together. I just would never think to combine like to have like this sort of collage brain, I guess, in a way that put things together that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a mathematical mind that it would never work for artwork.
I'm still trying to figure out what kind of mind I have. We're working on it.
Thank God for artists. Man.
Yeah, please. Thank you. Yeah.
Brandon Trammell is the artist.
Yeah, very cool poster. Looks very cool in foil too.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask.
Sure.
Randy, you got one of these or for
Yeah,
both
I got
of them,
when I travel like this, I do these self-imposed rules, or else I would really just have 3 million posters. And so when I travel like this, I always just grab one. So I grabbed the first night, not for any reason. It's not because I like Derek more than Susan. It was his guitar. It was because I was going to go out with my buddy after the show second night, and I didn't feel like lugging around a poster. But this place was unbelievable. A prop and a plug to the theater. The second night, I'm walking into the theater, and I see somebody walking out with a poster tube, and I'm like, "They're letting you go to your car with this?" He goes, "Yeah." They said no problem. You could throw it in your car and come back in. Like, you ever been to a venue in your life where they let you leave the place, completely leave the grounds, and come back in? Like, it was outrageous. I was like, this place is incredible.
I think I have not been able to do that since the 90s.
And
like,
then,
honestly.
So I missed out on a chip the first night because I got in a little late. So the second night, same thing's happening. I'm like, I'm going to miss the chip again. Now I'm like mad at myself. So I'm outside, but I'm not ready to go in quite yet because I'm just looking to, blaze a little bit before I go in. And but I want this chip. So I'm like, all right. So I go up to the person. I go, can I go through security, just grab a chip, come right back out, smoke this cone, and then go back in? Yeah, no problem. No problem at all. Okay, so I got my chip, and now I could, rest easy, know I have it, go in, enjoy the show. And that's the worries of a game day.
That's the venue.
Right? Venue was awesome, cool. Man. So I give so nice, right? I mean, been to a lot of these like theaters of late, and I love the theaters. They're my favorite, whether it's the Beacon or the Cap or Brooklyn or right. And I've been seeing a lot of those New York shows. This place was an auditorium. It was very modern, great lighting, great acoustics. Yep. I mean, excellent venue. Crowd in Raleigh, top notch. I travel. I see this band in a lot of cities. The crowd in Raleigh was a New York City crowd, if you will. For me, felt like I was home and local. It was awesome.
Did you
a lot
feel?
Of younger people, more so than I've noticed elsewhere. There were a bunch of younger people.
Oh yeah,
younger people,
big time.
Yeah.
First night, right next to me was this girl and her mom. And she had never been to a show before. She likes the band. She was a college student, and she didn't really have a lot of money, so she couldn't really go to the show. So I'm not going to make any names, but somebody in the band was able to take care of her, give her a ticket to the show, and she went. And her and her mother had the time of their lives next to me. It was and there was so many stories like that around me, and everybody was really like, it was top notch. I know I say this, Adam, every time, right? But it was. I would go back to Raleigh in an absolute heartbeat. It was as good of a crowd as I've seen from year long.
That's cool. It sounds like it was almost like a combination of like probably a lot of hardcore fans like you guys going to see the band, but also that mix of the younger crowd. So between hardcore and the youthful energy, that makes for a good combination. What was the maybe the reason why you thought, or why there were so much like a more of a younger crowd? Is that near a college? Was there?
There are a lot of colleges in downtown.
Were tickets more affordable for this show? Was it something?
No,
like that?
Because honestly, like the same price.
Yeah, normal tickets. Yeah, I think just a lot of young people in like Durham and Raleigh, and bands they're definitely getting more popular. So probably people are hearing about it.
Yeah. And the Friday obviously was well more popular than the Thursday show, naturally, with the day of the week. Friday was like there weren't many pairs left at all. Day of show. Thursdays you could kind of sit wherever you needed. It was I think there are a lot of colleges down there. What other reason really that I would think that it was more younger? Because I was telling I took my friend, but this is a perfect point in case. I took my buddy. He's never listened to the Tedeschi a song in his life. He's heard me talk about them infinite times, but I took him with me his first show, floored. I mean, that's not the surprising part, right? That he was floored, but his first show, he was fresh meat, and I actually ran into Kebby on the street earlier, and it's not a big city, Raleigh. So I was telling Kebby, like, this is my 48th show. And he was like, oh, that's so cool. And I was like, the guy I'm taking tonight's his first show. So he was like, man, he's like, as great as that is, and I love that you like support us, I love the fresh meat almost more. I'm like, I get it. Like, I think it gives the band a little invigoration when they see somebody who maybe just they haven't recognized in the crowd, and they know they're gaining more fandom.
Okay, that's actually good information to know. I feel like for us hardcore fans. So like, as happy as the band and everyone is to see us all the time at shows, like there is an element of these guys again, these guys again. But of course that we're all one big Swamp family. Of course, Robbie Dunn in the chat says here you've got NC State nearby within a couple of miles of the venue, and then you have UNC and Duke within 30 minutes of downtown Raleigh, and those are pretty good colleges, especially Duke. Obviously, was a big college. So if you have a brain, you're going to go see this.
It's next to a convention center, so you have people who are like coming in for work. And I know if like I was coming in for work and Raleigh and Tedeschi was playing, or I was coming in for work and Trombone Shorty was playing, I'd be like, I'm going to go check this guy out, right? So I think that also probably helps with like the business people, I don't know.
They probably marketed and promoted to the colleges as well, and maybe even done some outreach, for all I know, to like music schools and music students. Maybe Kebby himself, as we know, he dives into like the musical scene and the musical education scene within like every city. Like he does. That's so cool that he does that, and he's posted about.
I know. I thanked him for that on the street, Adam. I was like, that's so cool what you do.
Yeah,
you play the flute in front of a Subway. Like he makes all this crazy artwork, right? And then he also puts like that walk up music in the park in Atlanta. That's awesome.
On his days off and on a professional musician's days off, I'm sure they have much of a desire to sometimes, sleep in, relax, late nights. That's part of the job, is kind of like the hanging out after the shows with the doing, appearances and all these things and playing late night gigs. It's all kind of like part of their thing. So to sleep in or like relax the next day, or to like take in the sights, or at a city, or just go to a nice lunch or dinner, is like, I get that. But these guys are Kevy's spending the time to help spread music education is totally awesome. Which of those schools has the best music program? I wonder if one's Robbie name. They're probably, it could be Duke. Like, I don't know if they have
I think Duke's good at like every program, man.
Yeah, I imagine they have a decent music program there. Should we get into the set list from night one?
Yeah,
we can do that. That's the night two here. I'm gonna share my screen so everyone else could see it too. That's how this works. I've got the set list. .fm. Set one here. My dear, stand back. Do I look worried? It's so heavy. 40 for blues. Ain't that something? Let me get by little by little. Idlewind to close out. Set one and set two. Last Night in the Rain. Just as strange. Shame. Mr. Charlie. Bell Bottom Blues. Why does love gotta be so sad? DMSR. The Prince cover. Anyhow. Don't think twice. Bound for Glory. And the encore was Walk on Gilded Splinters. Before we get into that, I'll just share Robbie's comment here. This was TTB's first time playing Memorial Auditorium, but they've also played Red Hat Amphitheater, Walking Distance from Memorial, Walnut Creek Amp, Coca Booth Amp in Cary, and Deepak in Durham. Yeah, so they might be like, they're known in that area. The South, that's part of the Mid-Atlantic, Southeast. That's TTB territory, along the Atlantic. I feel like, it's a great hub to see TTB. Lots of chances, and like you were saying, people from New York coming down.
A lot of relocated New Yorkers live in North Carolina as well.
Right. Yeah, you probably had some Mets fans around there and Jets fans, but we're not going to talk about the Jets. That we're not here to talk about that. Well, Randy, I'll let you steer since you were there. I'm gonna get the wrong date here. Where did there we go. Your reactions and
my first reaction when I actually resaw the set list was how many songs they've been playing, right? Like it's outrageous. I thought they were done. I mean, I knew they weren't done at Bound for Glory because they were obviously going to come out for an encore, but time-wise, I thought they were done. So Adam, this show, I haven't seen outside of Saratoga, and that started late because there were 3 bands. They play till like 11:15, 11:20. I don't know what to curfew is in North Carolina, but in this particular city in Raleigh or the amphitheater, but it was well after 11, and I kept looking at my phone to watch and was like, are they going to play longer? Because I mean, I'm here for it, but I was kind of surprised. I'm always expecting it to be hard cut off at 11, right? Like everywhere they play.
It's hilarious. I was thinking the exact same thing because I was thinking it on night 2 during intermission. I was like, okay, it's like 9 already. Like,
it was a long intermission.
It was a long intermission. I was like, when are they going to come on? How long are they going to go? And then, they went 11:20 maybe that night.
Yeah, it was almost 11:30 when I left there. Look out of that place. Yeah, for sure.
We need a comprehensive list of curfew in every city the band plays at in order to manage our expectations.
I'd go to all the cities that they could play later. I mean, you got an extra few songs. They played like 22 songs. It's outrageous.
That's a power-packed set list.
You know? But what stuck out this first night, always love. I thought the second set the first night was just incredible from start to finish. First set was, and I couldn't agree more. I think Adam said it actually backstage, but they've been starting slow. Some songs, and I used to feel the exact same way. I would want to go in and like you want the energy from the get-go, like full throttle, but they've been kind of starting slowly, and I've been enjoying it. Kind of eases me into the show, and then like the second song is crazy, right? But
like stand back in the 2 spot is
so like
I don't know. I don't remember them doing that. And that's something that they've done for the encore most often, or the middle of a second set. Like,
and I'm not sure if they were making any political statements or what, but It's So Heavy and Shame were definitely very emotional. Extremely emotional. I've seen this band a lot of times this year with different songs from them, and you could just see the emotion in the band for both days, to be honest with you. Mr. Charlie, amazing. Anytime they rock in a Dead song, you got me feeling really good. Bound for Glory is my favorite song they play live, so I'm always in my glory. That Idle Wind, I'm going crazy, wild all over the place, but that Idle Wind with the drums was like, and I've seen it a few times now, but it doesn't get old. It's slow sometimes at points till they build up.
They've really leaned into Idle Wind. I feel like, especially like summer fall tour, it's a highlight for sure. The night. Shane also leaning into a lot. Derek goes crazy on Shane.
He does, and the tease into the Madi Madi, and just like it's long. It's going to be long. Totally. I agree. The Mr. Charlie on really was, and because last night in the rain and Justice Strange, you got an oldie there for sure, which is nice. But from really Mr. Charlie on, there was no like, and then Don't Think Twice was just like, I absolutely love the song. So I'm always happy as can be when Susann sings that as one of her ballads.
I think we're getting 2 flutes in almost every 2 Kebby flutes probably in every show now, with Idle Wind and Don't Think Twice or Soul Sweet Song. I guess we haven't gotten as much Soul Sweet Song lately, but they play flute. Am I missing a song that there's flute on lately in this tour, other than those 3 or the flute songs?
I feel like one of the songs this weekend, he played flute on that. I don't remember seeing
that. Was one that wasn't. What's that?
Sometimes he doesn't do flute on midnight, does he?
No,
sax intro, usually.
No, he doesn't. But I'm telling you, there was a song the second night that he played flute on that I never seen him play flute on. I got to go back and watch the videos.
Yeah, I'm almost curious.
We'll get to the second show in a little bit, but yeah, for sure.
All right, we can, all right.
But it's so weird because I didn't say anything till lately. My wife will ask me, and I'm leaving. I went to buy this show by myself, flew down there, but she'll say like, "Oh, what do you want to hear tonight?" Because there's always like stuff you want to hear, and when you go see the band The Real Lot, it changes. You don't want to just hear the midnight and no nothing to midnight, but you want to hear. I want to hear really songs I haven't heard 100 times. So whenever they play anything like 44 Blues that I haven't seen a ton of times, I'm always really like excited. It's a lot of, it's different for me. So yeah, it was, there were a few, but in my head I was going, I really want to hear Why Does Love Gotta Be So Sad, but I didn't like put it out there to her. And it's not something that they play rare, but, people next to me, that couple, the mother and the college student, they recognized the Eric Clapton song for sure. And the college student was full Tedeschi fan. She knew all their songs. The mom definitely didn't. And she was, she definitely knew the Eric Clapton song. So when Bell Bottom Blues was playing, she was like, oh, this is so amazing. And I go, amazing is going to be next when they do Why Does Love Gotta Be So Sad? Because it's just so much more energy, right? Like it's, and yeah, it was awesome. It was definitely one of the highlights of the night for me. That DMSR has been incredible too, I have to say, man.
Both the Prince songs are just so good.
Mm-hmm.
That's the order on the. It's funny because I can't name the order of the Layla songs on the album, the Clapton, Derek and Domino's album off the top of my head. But when I'm listening to it, one of course like flows into the next.
Oh, 100%.
No, I guess they're not. Well, I guess not. I think the tracks it's 2 and then 7.
Oh, you see it on Eric's actual album himself.
Yeah.
They're not consecutive.
No, but I guess I'm just so used to TTB coupling those songs together. It seems such a natural flow. I was almost thinking that, and TTB does that with their own music, where they're they'll pair Circles and Passaquan a lot, or Hear My Dear and Fall In, as on the they were on the album itself. Yeah, this is just stellar set list all around.
When I was traveling, I was arguing with myself. Did I want to look at Thursday's set list so I knew what I wasn't going to hear Friday night?
Of course. Yeah.
And I ended up, at first it was like, nope, I'm just going to be happy with whatever they play, which I was. But I ended up looking, and because the one tune that I really, really, really wanted to hear was the Aretha song that Dwayne plays on.
It Ain't Fair. Yeah.
It Ain't Fair, yeah.
Right, It Ain't Fair, and then segue right into Dreams, which is such a cool combination. Dreams is my favorite Brothers song. So I was.
And you got it.
I got it.
I haven't listened to much. Oh, and thank you. Oh, I talked to him earlier, who posted on Archive. Skip Wiseman, thank you for the recording, and I can't wait to dive into the rest of night 2, which I haven't had a chance to go into.
We're all
past
clearly,
circles. Go on, Jay.
I was going to say that we're clearly all in the same headspace, because I was doing the same thing about what am I going to hear, what I'm not going to hear, and I wrote on Facebook about it too. I was like, at some point I was like, I don't care, dude. It's going to be good. But I was going with someone who hadn't seen them before, and I just showed him the music. So I looked at Thursday to be like, preparing myself of what am I going to say to him when these songs come. I was like, oh, is he going to get shame or is he not going to get shame?
And it really does. I used to sort of, especially if the music became available, like really try hard to listen to everything that was released, or if there's a fan stream that pops up or something on Mixler, like go into these recaps, listening to the music, so then I can feel like I can comment more. But honestly, like I always talk about how I know all the songs anyway, can talk about them and get you guys to talk about what they actually sounded like on that night. But more than that, or in addition, or as well, it just hypes me up to listen to these songs more after we're on this call. Like, I can't wait to make my dinner and put on the It Ain't Fair and all that. That's
going to listen to that It Ain't Fair, Adam. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's like a show-stopping, otherworldly moment with those two.
It was different.
Yes, it was.
Totally.
Oh, it's different.
This is how it was different. I've seen him 10 times this year. It ain't fair.
Yeah, you can give me the spoiler in this regard.
It was a highlight.
It was the most emotional Alicia I think I've ever seen her on stage in any Tedeschi show at any point in time. She was crying throughout the song. She was holding back so much emotion. It was impossible for me not to cry myself. It was impossible moment. It was absurdly powerful. My buddy who I was with, who had never seen the band before, instantly fell in love with Alicia Shakur at the moment, said it was the best voice he's ever heard in his entire life. And then, it was just, it was different. It was, even better than listening to the audio, Adam. If somebody gets a good video ad on YouTube, because you got to see Alicia in the video, because
there's a couple videos. I think the whole song maybe on Facebook. Someone posted in the group like a close up, so you can see.
Yeah, I saw one today that like had it at like midway point of the song. I was I was hoping for the whole thing soon. Yeah,
that's what's amazing. Yeah, that's what's amazing about this band, because I'm picturing the times that I've seen her do this song on YouTube, and I've seen her do it live, I think 2 or 3 times. It's always show-stopping and emotional, and it almost looks like, and she might even be crying and in tears and just putting her entire soul into everything. But what this band always does, and this is an example of her doing it specifically, is just like taking things that you didn't think could be taken to a next level and taking them to the next level, both musically and emotionally,
Yeah, I mean, and the other thing, so my friend had the same reaction. He couldn't believe it. And the other thing he couldn't believe was that we were 3/4 of the way into the concert, and then this person comes to the front of the stage and does that. And he was like, what's going on with this band? She hasn't even yet sang, and it's like we've listened to 90 minutes of music already, and this took it to a whole other level. And
I love to hear that, and that's why it's so cool to hear stories about new fans, and that's exactly the reason why Kebby who likes to hear about and hear from the newer fans and the first timers, because that reaction is just such a pure reaction that we're all spoiled on.
It's like we got you
level.
guys. You guys are gonna come no matter what.
Yeah, she's begging. Susann is praying and hoping that she gets an It Ain't Fair and dreams and expecting it, with all this stuff, and it's on her mind, where this other person doesn't even know what the hell is coming at all.
He has no idea. Never heard the song, the original or anything, and it's just like
that's my buddy. Never heard. Yeah, I'm outrageous.
He's just like couldn't believe it, and it was so fun because. We'll talk about the rest of the stuff in a second, but like the whole 2 days after the show,
my friend.
Go on.
Oh, I think I froze.
No, you're there. Oh, we lost you. Maybe she'll come back in a second.
Adam, the comment you just put up. I'm sorry, Jay. You go, please.
I was going to finish up my story, but the last 2 nights after the show, every night, like whatever, we would hang out, go to bed, wake up in the morning, and he'd be like, "Oh, dude. Now I watched the Tiny Desk all the way through, and I saw this show and I saw that show, and he's telling all his friends about it, and I was like, yes."
Hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah, you were talking about Deborah's comment here. She's really coming into her own and opening up.
Deborah's a friend of mine who I've met on tour, and she was lucky enough. She got the coveted slide night 2 from Mr. Derek Trucks, and it was her first slide. She'd been looking for it since I met her in Richmond earlier in the year. She's really good people, and big shout out to a few other people I see at all these shows, Sarah and Jonathan, and unfortunately missed my boy Tommy this trip from Maryland, but he's been at those Charlotte shows. But it was awesome. You always run into a few people. Like my buddy was like, you know a lot of these people. I'm like only 10. It's like 10 people that at any given show.
I think it's more than that.
Well, that's like lunacy. That's like literally, I agree with you that it's definitely more than 10. But that I recognize. It's not like I see the exact same faces at every city. It's like a rotating group of people that you see along the road. At least like on the East Coast. I'm sure it's it's not easy for everybody to get away. That's for sure.
Does Deborah, or maybe she was getting the slide for someone, do they play? Are they a guitar player, slide guitar player themselves? You can answer that.
But she's a gigantic Bonnie Raitt fan. I've seen her like 85 times, right? And she is a gigantic Grateful Dead fan. and she is just a huge music lover. When I was in Richmond with her, she had done the backstage with Bobby, left her guitar with them for the signatures. So we're down in the lobby, and she goes, "I hope it comes back signed." So she said, "Bonnie Raitt's already signed it." I go, "Bonnie Raitt signed this, and you're wondering if they look at it, if Susan and Derek are going to sign this thing?"
Susan's going to look at it and strategically sign somewhere near Bonnie Raitt based on, I want to,
She got it back.
Good.
Susan's was right next to where Bonnie Raitt's was. Derek's was on the other
side. So
she
plays guitar.
So yeah, no, I don't know if Deb doesn't play guitar. I think she just collector. I don't think she plays any guitar.
Yeah, no, well, not that's essential to get a slider or whatever. But
no, she's just a huge music lover.
But people probably, I mean, not everyone even really necessarily knows anything about slide guitar or guitar slides or that's a thing that you can get at a band from a band member. But if you're a Bonnie Raitt fan and you don't may not even know Derek, you're gonna be interested in slide. Yes, I play. What slide? What's up, Kirk Anderson in the chat here. Alicia's really grown since she was with Warren Haynes' band at the Moody Theater for Man in Motion. There's some stuff with Alicia on YouTube with Warren that I pull up here and there, once in a while. Mm-hmm. Anything else about the night one set list? We can continue with that. I'll pull it back up here. That's night two. Back to night one here.
No, I don't think they did play everything that was on there. There was no ad libs, no audibles. I'm trying to see if there was
Mikey Modney, Tease, and Idle Wind.
Yeah, and of course the crowd just goes wild for Ain't That Something. Anytime Elizabeth Lee opens her mouth on that trombone, the reaction is it's so different than when Kebby plays a solo, or when Efren or Justin plays a solo now. It's just I don't know how to explain it, but
she has her own style. They have different styles. I think it was Kebby's more jazzy and spacey and even avant-garde at times, even to the point where it can challenge the audiences, and there's
100%.
spurring even debate about whatever.
It's very exploratory
about what he plays.
Yeah.
Versus maybe Elizabeth is more emotive and more almost like has a throwbacky, bluesy, different type of jazzy style. I might not be doing the best at explaining this, but they all obviously fit perfectly within the band. But just thinking about they have unique musical relationships with specifically Derek, which is cool to see. Kebby and Derek go back and forth. That's its own sort of thing. Kebby, Derek, and Elizabeth. That's become a special thing, of course, on Space Captain. They have their own special dynamic. So that's always fun to see. How the different styles within the horn section, and also how the different styles create a unique element with just Derek specifically is always fun to see. Deborah in the chat here going to the next 4 shows and then 2 to follow. We got to get you on here. Hit me up on any platforms. I'm on all of them. You're welcome to recap more TTB shows. There's not that many left. What do we have? 6? Is it 6 shows left?
Is it? No, it's 4.
4? Oh yeah, because those were the last 2. No, I'm just wishful thinking on my end.
Or we get the last 2 on Nugs. That's sick.
Yeah, that's gonna be emotional for me to just watch in my living room. Jesus, thinking about that. But no one believes they're taking a full 6 months off until May. We don't believe you.
They are.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone I talk to, I don't want to believe it. I talked to Bradley, talked to all the folks in the management and stuff. They all agree that it's gonna happen. I don't want to believe it either.
There'll be some fireside stuff.
That's what I predict. Yeah, as of now, that's what they say. But then there's
5 months for them. They would go crazy.
Do we like money? Yes. Do we like playing music in front of people? Yes. Is there a way to do that doesn't put too much stress on us or something for at least the first quarter? Yeah, they're going to be working on that too, obviously, of course.
That's not easy.
No, but
I think you'll see some side projects too.
That's true. But that's music we're getting.
I saw
There'll
that
be things
Dave is in a tour at Christmas. with I don't know the guy's name.
I can look that up. I think Gabe Dixon Christmas.
Oh yeah.
Christmas show.
Oh, it's awesome too. The guy he's with is really good. I forgot where it was though.
Yeah.
Where was it? Nashville? No.
That's
a
where
picture of him, on it's at the Carmel Performing Arts Center.
You're cutting
North
out
of
there a little.
Indianapolis.
North of Indianapolis. Oh, that's by you.
Yeah.
You're going to that, Susann?
I'm sorry.
Hey, you're cutting out. I don't know if you're on your computer or your phone, but you could try your phone if you're on your computer. Sometimes the phone works better even. That's a thought. You might want to pop back out. I'm going to boot you out here.
It's nice. Justice Strange coming back is nice. That's a nice little addition from their vault.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of the tiny desk, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we can get into night 2 here. Presence of the Lord, Playing with My Emotions. I Am the Moon. Feel So Bad, La Di Da. Yes, We Will. Part of Me. Circles. Passaquan with the Mountain Jam in there. Then finishing up Passaquan. Set 2. Don't Let Me Slide, Fall In. Done Somebody Wrong. Midnight in Harlem. Gravity, It Ain't Fair. Dreams, Mojo Working. I Want More. Soul Sacrifice. And the encore. I Can't Make You Love Me. Let's Go Get Stoned. Like I'm like tired just looking at this set list. Like that's such a there's so much here. Like Passaquan and like Gravity and just there's a lot.
I mean, Circles through Passaquan. That's like 35 minutes. Maybe a little bit more because there's Mountain Jam in there.
Yeah.
So
wow.
That's 40 minutes. I remember this was another thing that the things that I don't notice anymore, but like someone new does. He was like, at one point, he like poked me. He's like, dude, like 3 songs ago, I looked at my watch and it was 10 o'clock, and it's like 10:45 now. Like, what's going on? I was like, yeah. It's all just one song, bro.
Yeah. And that's so not the band, right? It's like, this isn't a Fish show. This isn't a Goose show. It's that's so not their style, but they do have a few songs that are a little long. And if he saw Idle Wind the night before, tonight Passaquan, they're long. Like my buddy who's never been also, you always wonder how they'll do with like a 20-minute song. It was one of his favorites of the night. He fell in love with, his 3 favorites were Derek, Hebby, and Alicia. His first time ever seeing the show. He said, looked over at me at one point. He said, "I never seen so much greatness in one room in my life." Things that we've all said. Of course, this is someone who's honestly never heard a note of their music before the night.
I remember in DC earlier this year, the first night I was sitting, there was 2 like college kids next to me, never heard of the band, and again I was like, "Oh, you guys are gonna have a good time." And then when we were leaving, I was like, "So how was it?" And he's like, "I don't think I'm talented enough to be in this room after that show. I think I need to go home. This is too much for me."
Yeah, I don't even know what to say anymore about this band because it just seems to be yielding the same emotional reaction and the same literal reaction just to how the quality of the music, like whether it's someone like Susann who's been following the band but seeing them for the first time, or
I have a question.
Sure. I think you're
guys I think the moment happened in Circle, and I saw him.
Yeah, you're a little choppy. Maybe we try just audio. You might want to cut your video part. Sometimes
when they started Circle Round the Sun. Do I remember correctly that Derek went into hard rock mode?
I don't know. We're trying to catch some of that. You're still a little choppy there. I don't know if you guys caught it. What she was saying. I guess getting into hard rock mode. Yeah, you may want to try a different device. We're trying. Thank you for everyone for bearing with us. Yeah. Susann, you may want to try another device or just try audio only version or something. Yeah, I could see you even look choppy in the waiting room there. But you guys were there as well, night 2. You can tell me
Yeah.
your
So
reactions.
first thing I noticed again, just how many songs, right? How many songs they played? 23 songs, 22 songs, something ridiculous. And there was on the original set list, it was Just Won't Burn. It was the only one they didn't do, which I don't know where they thought they were fitting that in. I guess I guess they didn't, because the show went till almost 11:30. So if they would have played, maybe they didn't think they'd go as long in Mountain Jam. I mean, in obviously Passaquan, maybe the intermission they didn't think would be as long. But I'm in my head going, how did Derek, who does this all the time, how did they think he was squeezing Just Won't Burn in there too? Because it's a lot of music, which again, I'm not complaining. Please keep squeezing things in.
Just Won't Burn or Just as Strange? What were you talking
about?
No,
like I saw the original, like
you're on that one right now, Adam.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah,
Earth. I'm with it. We're awake.
Fall In was so sick. I mean, that's another one where Derek just lets loose.
Yeah. And
yeah, I'm excited to dive into that. Anything that he's, because that's something that's sort of evolved a little bit, and
he does like three solos, and
it just keeps going.
Doing it.
And no two Derek solos, outro solos on Fallen are exactly the same. So just and that's, I'm asking you, can you articulate what Derek's guitar solo sounded like on the outro of Fallen? I just gotta listen to it.
You know, he was singing. My buddy goes, it's like he's singing with the guitar. I go, yeah, that's a lot of people have expressed. That's like, one of the reactions he's using. That's his voice,
He sometimes makes it scream, and I want to ask about Gravity. That's how Gabe described Derek's playing. Like, he's like, the dude makes the guitars. It's screaming. Did he?
Yeah.
I'm excited to dig into those two Derek moments for sure.
He did his classic, that double note thing that he does on Gravity, just blows you out of the water. I mean, he makes the guitar scream in his wild solo that he does in Circles too, when he lets Kevin go crazy and he goes crazy, and it's just like that's when it's like they take a hard left and go for a few minutes and then come back. It's always just insane. Gravity's a good one. You like that?
Yeah, he made it scream. Like on the Red Rocks 2022 version, kind of in that vein.
Totally, but somehow better because they've gotten better in 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my thoughts are all over the place. But just thinking back to and we'll get into it. We can talk more about the It Ain't Fair and the Dreams too. But they always just capture the spirit of whatever it is they're playing, and also like the emotional, powerful, like the emotional power of the like these original songs. Like they really capture the spirit. I mean, we're not gonna get into like compare the Aretha and Alicia and all this stuff, but she really captures the power and the spirit and the emotional impact of the original song. Like it really takes you to, like, I don't know, I get the same emotional feelings listening to the Aretha and listening to Alicia, and I get the same feelings listening to the Allman Brothers Band through some of the various eras, and listening to Tedeschi Trucks Band doing those songs justice. It has that same emotional impact, and that's no insult to like other artists that have covered the Allman Brothers or covered Eric Clapton music or covered Aretha Franklin music. There's something about this band. It just like really captures the spirit of like that great music from the 60s and 70s, and like I don't know
about, like, especially like things like It Ain't Fair or They'll Do Dreams or really any cover, which is why they cover these songs, is they make you feel like that songs makes them feel. Like Alicia feels something when she listens to It Ain't Fair, and that's what she's doing on stage. She's channeling that emotion that she feels too, which is why it feels so real. Like when she's going crazy and she's belting it out, she's like almost crying. I mean, you can't fake that. That's
no.
And when she feels it, you feel it.
Every moment is so authentic, never mailed in. This is what real music should be. And we don't need to get into like a debate about like, is electronic music digital music or not, like that kind of stuff. But this is certainly music in its most purest form. I feel like you can't debate that. The most authentic, and like, I don't know, there's something that it's maybe a contradiction, but there's something super tight about Tedeschi Trucks Band and what these 12 members do on stage. But there's also something loose and improvised and fun, and exploratory, but not meandering. There's always like a narrative, a journey that they're taking you on, even if maybe at points you don't know exactly where they're going. And maybe that's some of the most best points in the show when they might be exploring and taking you somewhere new. But that a journey is still a narrative, even if you don't know where you're going.
I mean, Jay, you couldn't be more right, though. And I was lucky enough, and my buddy who fell in love with Alicia at the show, was lucky enough after the show to run into her. And I said,
yeah,
Alicia,
right on the street. I saw her. She and Isaac were walking down the street.
Yeah. So I said to her, I said, Alicia, I said, that was the best It Ain't Fair. And I haven't seen just a few. I've seen a good amount of It Ain't Fair. I said, your raw emotion was so crazy tonight. I go, not that I always want to see you that emotional on every night to have to sing that song like that. Because it was, like I said, just you could see that it was a little different from her. And, you don't, as the artist, you don't need it to be that heavy. Every night like that. It's but she appreciated the accolades, but it was next level. Like I said, it was incredible.
I think it's a good thing that they don't do this song every show or every night. I think that maybe almost probably keeps her fresh and excited to do it in some regard.
My buddy goes to me, he goes, which one of these songs did they do last night? I go, none of them. They didn't do any of these songs last night. So he goes, what do you mean? I go, that's how I could come so often. They don't see the same show. He goes, I know you didn't see the same show, but I figured they did like some of their bigger hits every night. I go, nah, and I knew once we didn't have Midnight in Harlem the first night that he was going to get it the second night, because some of the ones you could almost peg, but I also thought he was going to get Made Up Mind, because that's pretty, frequent on a 2 spot, but they didn't play it either night. But there's a few that you could pretty much guess at and be right more times than not when they do 2 shows.
Not only will they not play hits or even sometimes theirs, what I would call signature songs, they just sometimes will play a lot of covers, especially as we get further and further away from the I Am the Moon stuff. Like, we've been getting tons and tons of covers, but they enjoy it and they take pride in continuing the legacy of all these Clapton and Allman Brothers and all these great artists, that Santana, Aretha Franklin, and all the great blues artists,
Whenever I tell people, it's like, oh yeah, I saw them in DC 3 times in a row. They didn't repeat a song. And they're like, what do you mean? They played all completely different set all 3 nights. I was like, yeah. And then they went to Baltimore and they played maybe only 4 repeats. So it was actually 4 shows almost.
That's what struck me a lot. I remember, especially earlier in the first half of this year, and around the time the Beacon shows that I went to, and into March, into those the Warner shows, like over a period of like 3-4 weeks. There's probably sure people in the chat or whatever, or the archivist Kirkus and Zach Transports can tell me like that they played probably 100+ songs over a period of a few weeks, like constantly new stuff, like keeping it fresh really for everyone, just going from city to city is incredible. Yeah, I don't think there's anything like this. There may be other bands out there that play the variety, but not the quality. You may get some high quality stuff out there, but you may not get the variety from other artists.
You saw George Porter, right? You saw George Porter say they're the tightest band on the planet. And this is a guy who was playing with them who could be a little, jealous or whatever at times, that this is not his life or whatever. And this, not that he's got a band by any means. The guy's amazing, right? But, he played with them the other night in New Orleans. And if you haven't seen that video yet on YouTube, check that out, because that's incredible. And he's like, they're the tightest band on the planet. And who would argue as a music enthusiast?
No, we're not crazy, and we're correct, and we're right, and as me, you, Jay, and let's see if we can get Susann back in here. We all love the band and know the band. I know the band somewhat, like more intimate, maybe intimately than some of these great artists who don't play with TTB or maybe not as tuned in. So they're almost more I feel like the professionals can be possibly more caught off guard by how talented this band is than us, who just are tuned into every track gets put out on video or audio that we can get our hands on live, live
Another
stuff.
thing that was cool about this this venue is it's like Randy said, it's an auditorium, so like very, very open. So if you even look at the picture that you had up there earlier of the venue itself, it's just like a big open space, and man, the drums were fucking bouncing off the walls.
On Soul Sacrifice. Oh my God! Right, it was incredible.
In fact, even I Can't Make You Love Me, just Gabe and Susann being there and her voice in this open space, it was magical.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad seat in the house. So if anybody's looking, I know Adam likes to know what the bathrooms are like, what this is like, right? So if anybody wants to go to Raleigh, great crowd, and there was not a bad seat in the house. So I always sit up close, but I had seen earlier in the day, on Thursday, you could have got a ticket for $16 to see this band. That's like $1.50 a band member. You know what I mean? It's outrageous. Outrageous. So
yeah, it's not a big capacity venue. I don't know, like less
2,700, I think I saw 2,400.
Yeah. Yeah, I was up front too, right behind the pit, but yeah, you could have been anywhere. It would have been awesome. You can see everything from everywhere. Sound was great.
Yeah, the staff themselves there were pretty cool. Like, they.
It sounds like it.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, there's no.
I have no.
Like
voice. No voice.
It's back to the music though. Like, there's no comparing. Like, I don't know who else is doing pin drop to the who else can go from pin drop Midnight in Harlem to Soul Sacrifice drums like that sort of range here.
I mean, even in Passaquan now, when they're in the drum solo, they go basically quiet and then re-crescendo from there, and it's incredible. The control and dynamics, the way that they have it's incredible.
What you got, Susann?
Can I? Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I went to a different mode of communication here.
This seems better.
Totally.
Oh, good. It Ain't Fair. My girlfriend who went with me, she had never heard the original, and we both got massive goosebumps. I mean, that song was, the energy in that place was crazy. And Dreams is my favorite Allman Brothers song. So, that was a real trip. It was great. But when we got out, I told my girlfriend, I said, well, do you want to hear the Aretha Franklin version with Dwayne and King Curtis? And so we listened to that first after the show. And my girlfriend says, no, I like Alicia better.
Boy, also partial to just seeing it live in person. But that's what music really does. You can be won over in a sense by seeing a band live. That's what I think. You fall in love with a band like sort of live, and then it sort of gives you, maybe permission is not the right term, but like you're connecting with them in a different way. Like you can imagine, you can relive your experience of seeing the band live through listening to the recording from the show again, or just watching them on YouTube, looking at pictures. A lot of these photographers, they'll of course, as they're organizing their TTB photos, I'm of course listening to the music. Like, we're talking TTB while listening to TTB and writing about TTB and messaging or texting about like something related to the band and looking at our posters. It's all like we're immersed in it. That's why we were talking about like how I'm recognizing TTB fonts and what did you guys say?
Yeah.
What was the random thing that one of you mentioned that like reminded you of TTB in regular life earlier? Whatever it is.
Everything.
I mean, the TTB shows are like really one big standing ovation, but it ain't fair standing ovation. It
was huge,
and it was, everyone acknowledged that. They were like, okay, that was, we've listened to a lot of music tonight, but that took it to another level. And then
I was really happy that that Mountain Jam really wasn't just a tease. They played Derek. Derek was into Mountain Jam that night, and it went much longer.
Yeah, a few times lately we've been wanting to dive into it, not just a tease, a little bit more of a thing, which almost like a medley. That's one. I mean, there's always like these trade-offs with whatever the band does, but I think that's part of the method to the madness of Derek and trying to just get more music. Like you can't do every Derek Trucks Band song. You can't do every Allman Brothers song. You can't do every Tedeschi Trucks Band song.
I mean,
but they could do medleys and teases.
And it's
we would not argue with them.
Special. That's like a locking thing, doing a full album or something like that, or an artist dedication.
And it's totally Tedeschi's Mountain Jam, so you get that like I don't know. I feel like that's like it's just perfect.
Yeah.
If he's gonna throw Mountain Jam in somewhere right there, that seems relevant.
They haven't really played Mountain Jam the full song start to finish, other than with Trey at the Beacon one, and I don't. Have they played it other than that? I mean, I asked that.
I can remember.
Yeah, not that seen on YouTube. Kirk Anderson in the chat is looking for curfew information. ChatGPT would probably give you information, but I feel like it's not going to give you accurate information about that or up to date information.
Sure.
It'll give you an answer, but it might not be right.
Yeah, some cities are 10. Like St. Augustine was like 10 o'clock. They just have to start.
I remember making fun of the hype. See again, Luke, like we got college towns, so we got maybe a little later curfew. St. Augustine, you got the old people who need to get to bed. I was joking about that on that podcast, so maybe that's part of the culture around the venue place. As long
that should be great. Like you buy your ticket from Ticketmaster, and it says to you like what the curfew could be. Like doesn't mean they're gonna play to that, but I'd be like, I want to see this in this city. It gives you so much more opportunity.
My instinct is to be against all curfews, but I guess that's really up to that community to figure out and decide, and hopefully done where most people are happy with it. Because when it's TTB, I'm going to be biased to like play all night. Yeah. But if it's some music I don't like and I live in the area and it's causing traffic and annoyances in the street and just not even disruptive, but just annoyances, I'm going to be like, we need a curfew. But TTB, it should be depending on the how good the music is.
Yeah, that's how.
I don't know.
Let the band
something
decide.
Subjective. What's that?
Let the band decide what the curfew is.
Yeah.
We could pay or the
King Giz would do 13-hour shows.
Dude, what you could do?
Dude, no, I'm saying they do like 6-hour shows now. So if there was no curfew, these people would play for days and days at end. Like some of the jam bands, it's outrageous. I mean, obviously how long some of the shows are in comparison to Tedeschi show.
We could actually get there technologically. I'm thinking way, way ahead. But a way like you can pay it almost like a luxury tax fine and overtime penalty. And the band, and during the show, if you would like the band to play an extra 10 minutes for an encore,
everyone throwing $10.
Oh my God!
It's like soccer extra time, and this would actually work and this would work because of alcohol.
Well, it's so funny too because at the Beacon this past year, like last month when Tedeschi was there, and she was finishing up on Space Captain, and Derek was kind of like, hurry it up, and it was just 11. I'm thinking, do they pay a fine at 11:03? Because he was like kind of rushing her, and she even was like, I'm almost finished, right? So I'm thinking like, is there a fine at 11:03 that he wants to avoid? Like I don't know.
Maybe not from the venue, but maybe.
It is. I don't know about 11:03, but the fine, it's like pretty quick and pretty big.
Yeah.
Right. It's not like $1 every 15 minutes.
And Dolan's probably just pocketing that money at the Beacon.
Like tens of thousands of dollars quickly.
Yeah.
I know a lot of bands.
My $10 not going to help.
There's a lot. Someone was telling me about this for MSG. Is a lot of the big bands just account for the penalty already and then just play longer, but it's like they pay like $150,000, $200,000 extra for the extra 40 minutes or 30 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it gets pricey.
I hope that's the case in 2 weeks from now when Soul Shine's there, because I thought I was done with Tedeschi for the year, and I was I was getting into trying to be comfortable with it, but it's not really okay for me in my life that I'm gonna have to wait like 6 months to see them again. And then they announced this benefit, an hour from 45 minutes from my house. So how do you not go see that lineup with Warren?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, pretty excited for that. Really looks outrageous.
No, that's what day is that?
It's the Soul Shine's the 24th. So Dave Matthews plays MSG the Friday and Saturday. And
this month.
Sunday.
Yes, this month.
But it's like Warren and Goose and Trombone Shorty and Nathaniel Rateliff and Trey and.
Well, I'll bother you for a recap or someone gets.
It's outrageous, like how there's 7 bands. I counted. There's 7 bands this year in 2024 that I paid to see separately.
Are they doing a live stream live stream fundraiser, telemarketing? That's what they should be doing.
They haven't announced it. They haven't announced it, but I know a lot of people online are like, you know, we will donate to this, but we need this live streamed.
Yeah, I'm not the only person who had that thought. Yeah.
No.
We'll put pressure on all the power I have in the music.
Folks
world. I'll put pressure on Nugs.
Do this, you know?
What's that? Yeah.
Like it. I was talking to someone about it. They don't like to live stream a lot of the concerts from MSG for some reason.
Yeah, maybe there's back to Dolan. We've come full circle. We're figured out maybe why this may not be happening. Like,
yeah, well, I'll definitely I'll put some pictures up and everything. I'm pretty pumped, but yeah, it's a pretty all-star lineup. I mean, outrageous.
Yeah,
right. My money is on you seeing them in 2025 before May. That's my money. You'll stick on a show somehow.
I don't know if maybe they'll do something side like they did those small
they'll do fireside stuff.
Yeah, maybe something like that somewhere around where they could. I saw somebody put on the app they're looking to get them to play in Canada privately, so maybe they'll do something like that. You know?
Yeah, fireside private shows. I mean, you know, a random gig here and there. Obviously, some side hustles and side projects and gigs for the individual band members. We know that they're you know. Kebby's always up to something.
Yeah, anytime Isaac wants to bring New Orleans to New York City, I'm always happy with that. Or
those were super cool. Those are cool.
Brandon
cool
at the bitter end, like so they do enough individually too that you could get to see some of them. Gabe Dixon obviously does his own band, and Kevin does it.
So, yeah, less so on the West Coast, but that's all right. That's okay.
True facts.
Maybe Elizabeth's doing something in LA.
My mind's gonna start thinking about what are they gonna write next year now. What are they gonna do? I'm the Moon.
I expect. I mean, my hope is just for. I know it's going to be quality. I expect quality. We all do. We know it's going to be awesome music, but I want quantity. I want that. Give me a lot. They give us 4 albums, so I'm not expecting and it was obviously the COVID and all that, so they dove into the recordings.
But it's good. Stuff. I mean, they're taking officially 4 or 5 months off. They haven't done that other than COVID, so they're taking their time.
Yeah.
How many total minutes was I Am the Moon of music?
I don't know. You need another artist.
Like on 8, maybe 7, 8 minutes.
No, I mean total. No, not the song. The whole project. Like all 4 albums worth is that's probably like
somewhere in the 36 times 4 range. Somewhere in that.
It may not be that much. It might be closer to like 25 minutes an album.
It could be like 2 hours, right?
Yeah.
2 hours of music.
An hour. It's definitely.
And then you got Warren Haynes coming out with stuff with Derek on his album.
Yeah.
3 tracks.
That dropped on.
That's great.
Yeah.
That dropped on the 1st.
Yeah.
And Derek was on 4 songs?
Yeah. I thought it was 3. Yeah. That's awesome.
3 or 4. And I like Warren. But quite frankly, when it's Warren and Derek, it's just a whole different vibe.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, you can just.
They bring each other best out in each other,
Yes. Yeah. It's definitely that brothers vibe thing going on that they've got. Real Love is you definitely hear Greg on that song.
2 hours, 10, Adam.
Oh my God!
You did it. You got it faster than me. Can you hear me typing?
130.
Say it again. How many was it?
2 hours, 10 minutes.
Okay, yeah, that's crazy long. Because I mean, some of these albums, like you think of even like epic albums, like some of these Jimi Hendrix albums. Like I can't think of examples off the top of my head. You're like, oh, that's a super long epic album, has all these great songs on it, and then you look at it, it's like 37 minutes or whatever for like one album. So I think we'll get half. We'll get probably half of what you just said at least, and that's
we'll get a full album, good album.
Yeah.
Hours worth.
Yeah, that's true. Like if we get anything like Signs, Let Me Get By, whatever. Like
then they'll have a ton of material to tour off of also. I mean, not that they don't have the material, you know that. I mean, but they'll have a ton of new material to tour off of.
No, they got to have a double album at least to wean me off of the expectations for I Am the Moon. You can't go from a quadruple album to a single album. They should just, here's what you do. You got to slow play release. Do that again. That was really effective. They should. What's that?
That was fun.
They should. I think they should do that again, because like, what other band like can go play a live show, and we all know the lyrics to all the songs already, basically. Like all the fans are singing. We're singing along to new songs on all of them, basically.
Yeah,
that's so cool. So I think they should. That would be cool to. Like we were all fans of like the way they released the I Am the Moon. Like. We like to be teased. What does that say about us? It gave us time to, absorb the albums. Kirk says indoor versus outdoor, union versus no union, loose contracts versus tight ones. Talking about, I guess, what goes into different curfews for venues. Anything else we should cover about the night 2 set list? I'll let you guys talk about whatever. I'll just share some more pictures from whatever the hell I've gone through. I mean, I accidentally pulled up all of them already. But show some of the Susann and the band Susann birthday bowling pictures and stuff. Those are all kind of fun. I don't know if this is Randy's or Jay's or Susann's photo.
It's not mine.
Cool.
Not mine.
Nice shot. What's that?
Yeah. Might be mine.
Yeah. Process of elimination.
Nice.
We looked at that one.
Raleigh was fun. Some of the best tacos I've eaten across the auditorium. There was a little taco joint.
Oh, cool.
Good food, man. Good city. I'll be back for sure for shows. Yeah, actually, my friend who I took, he lives in right outside Raleigh, and he was like, so every year they come to North Carolina, we're just doing this. I was like, sounds good to me. I'll be here, dude.
Yeah,
Susann, look, Gabe, you can't even recognize Gabe really with that hat on and everything in the next shot.
They're fun. Nice bowling shoes.
My friend was also really blown away with the 2 drummers. The idea of 2 guys sitting there so close to each other and playing completely different things, but yet they sound like that they're in perfect unison. She's like, they're freaking me out. I'm like, yeah, I get that.
Yeah, most bands don't have 2 drummers. That's true.
No.
You don't usually see that.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Gee, I wonder where that idea came from.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder how many bands would want to if they could, but it just, I mean, if you're a new band, you need like this literally like this space on stage at smaller venues it's not really feasible for a small band, I feel like, and it costs more money. You're dividing up the pie that much more. It's just not, the pros and cons and the whatever the benefits, the costs, the costs outweigh the benefits in that regard. So yeah, it's just not something. Like there's probably only a handful out there of double drumming bands that are, touring or whatever. How many are out there right now, other than like Dead and Company and maybe and TTB and
Goose has 2 drummers.
Two drummers.
Good.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a handful probably in the jam band scene. Is that mostly where you're gonna see them? Is there any other musical? There's some hard rock bands and maybe metal bands. I'm sure that have too. I would think anything that you're looking for more power. If you're looking for power,
my friend all night, he's pointing at Isaac. He's like, that guy's he's got the sauce. The other guy's the power. So we just call it sauce power all night. Games.
There's the bowling scores. Derek 170
with the winning score.
Yeah. Well, Bradley Strickland, I'm assuming, took the photo, posted the photo. I don't think Derek took this photo or demanded that it be taken and share this out. Finish strong there with strike, and then damn, this is pretty impressive. A lot of 8s, 9s, spares.
Sue's good too.
Yeah, no, yeah, 124. I don't know. Like I was saying, I don't think I reached that. She was using a 10-pound ball. That's I was 12, and I think next time I'm bowling, I'm gonna switch to the 10 because I think I throw a heavier ball straighter, but I think I need more velocity. Because then you need that a little more velocity to get those strikes. Even if it's going straight, you're gonna knock down more pins with that. But I feel like if I do too much of a lighter ball, my natural spin is going to send it right into the gutter. This is what everyone came for, is my bowling analysis.
Next time we go to a show, we got to do pregame bowling.
Pregame bowling.
Yeah. I would watch the band bowl.
I wish I knew they were doing this. I would have just popped in and showed up randomly at this bowling alley. Like, oh, you guys are here too?
If they did it like real organized and had like, I guess you can only they need three lanes with 4 at each lane for TTB. But if they did like a real
12 lanes, 1 in each, you get a meet and greet with the person.
I was just saying, I wouldn't even need that. I would just watch it as like pure entertainment. If they really had all 12 members like having on 3 separate lanes, and it was like broadcast, I'll do play-by-play. I could do play-by-play, and I could watch all 3 at once. I talk fast in New York. It's not a problem.
The video that they dropped recently of can you sign this picture for me? And they were all the old.
Oh yeah, that was hilarious.
The old pictures. Yeah, I mean they could do that with the bowling scenario. That would be a lot of fun.
In what way?
Misha's bowling skills on display right there. The drinking.
Right. Well, it's like here Derek and Susan are with their newest child, the bowling ball. I don't know. But yeah. It's like, okay, so tell us about your theory of bowling.
Yeah, what's your approach? Because everyone really does have a different approach, and even if it's just like, oh, I look at the little arrow on the wood and I aim here. Oh, I like to throw the ball like with throw as hard as I can. I'm a lefty, so that's weird. And then like some people I'm sure are going to be terrible. I bet there's probably a couple people in the band that are awful at bowling. There's got to be the ones that we did not see all the scores.
No,
so
we
it's
didn't.
like, where are the bumpers? Someone will say, where are the bumpers? I need where are my bumpers? Something like that.
Yeah.
Mark in the chats here. Any word on the status of Jimmy Herring? Derek and Jimmy are good friends. He's not doing well. Or
Yeah, I haven't seen anything lately. Just that he's still undergoing treatment for cancer.
Yeah, sorry to hear that. Hope he's getting well. I got tonsil cancer. I see. Yeah, I definitely check out the videos with him and TTB and the Allman Brothers. Like, the algorithm and me searching pulls up these videos is good. Like, I think there's a good Blue Sky with him and TTB and out there. This is a great one here of Susan and Derek at the bowling alley. Let's beat the Braves. Anything else, guys? I think we covered it all.
Oh gosh,
we done good.
Another one in the books.
Only thing I was hoping was there was a plane failure on the way back, so I could stay for the Charlotte shows. But unfortunately, it was out of my hands. If it was, I can't just tell the wife I'm staying for 2 more shows. So I was hoping it was out of my hands, but not to be.
Oh.
Well, at least I get to watch the Atlanta ones with the live stream. That's super awesome. I love when Nugs does that when they do.
Yeah, that'll be awesome.
Yeah, so that's the next best thing to being there.
Right.
Yeah, that's
pretty good option.
That's this week. That's Friday and Saturday. This is
This
is the end.
This is the end.
Yeah, I'm probably in denial about this a little bit, but thank God. And I'll always find music. I'll just if I somehow they take away all the Tedeschi Trucks Band songs from me, I still know the chords to When Will I Begin or whatever, and some of these other TTBs. Don't think twice. I'll just play them myself. So when there's a will, there's a way. When there's no shows, there's archive. When there's no archive, there's YouTube. If YouTube disappears, I'll find my CD player. If my CD player breaks, I'll just do my best impression. So
Well,
it's so cool.
At the
There's
very
always
least, it's not going to be Deuces Wild, right? I mean, that's a wrap. I mean, Deuces
Yeah.
Wild is over. You're not going to have that theme, which was, I think, very exciting. I think their management team did an awesome job this year with the chips and the
Mhm.
2 songs and 2 nights with the same artist, and just a lot of the little nuances and that they did to feed off the Deuces Wild. I thought it was excellent. I don't know other bands do a year tour with a theme, and their theme, it's not like they had blackjack dealers on hand, but
it's not integrated into necessarily all of their merchandise and interactive things.
Yeah.
It's not as fully integrated with all the plans. But yeah, I'll do an end of year. I'm already kicking around some things with maybe Larry James, a fan, came on last year and did the end of year rap. He keeps records and does a whole write up, and he's been, I think, to a handful of shows himself this year to speak on. So we'll definitely do a end of year rap. Do some more interviews next year. We'll see who I can land, and it's a handful. You guys always want to talk about different topics and deep dives on all sorts of things. Our hopes and dreams for 2024. We can talk about that in relation to the band.
So Sunset Soul, as of now, is the first show they have on the books, right?
Yeah.
that's correct. And then they have that Asheville show on the books because they rescheduled.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's
Hopefully, I will get some teases of the new stuff at Sunset and Soul. That'd be
That's
fun.
of course, yeah.
I assume
That's it.
I assume there'll be something.
Yeah.
Like, even if there's something that they have to figure out with the management, record company, what they can play, what they can't play, but we'll get something, I'm sure. I think, right?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing.
And if not, who cares? I'll be happy to hear even just like when the new stuff comes, the new stuff comes. But
Yeah.
plenty
That's
of great music.
preparing me for the next 5-6 months, knowing that that's already booked. So at least that'll be something to look forward to.
All right. Well, good stuff, guys. Thank you for the time. I appreciate it. Good stories. I'll good recap. I'll get something cooking for this next pairs of shows in Charlotte, hopefully, and then we got I guess maybe the 14th. Thinking out loud, that would be a good time.
In between the ones, right, Adam?
Yeah, in between.
Mhm.
But I will have plenty of time. Well, Soulshine is the 24th, but yeah. I'd like to definitely recap Atlanta and Charlotte before Soulshine, and then do that, and then from there, it's the end, my friend.
Yeah, it's the end. It's the end. The end of an amazing year. Amazing
What a
year.
year.
Yeah.
Hell of a year, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it always feels new and fresh and exciting, and like I don't know, and that's what keeps me going. I feel like I'm just getting started with this podcast. I feel like I don't know. It doesn't feel like I've been listening to this band for 14 years. It feels like I've been just discovered them, and that's regardless of whether they're putting out new music or not. Like, everything's new and pops, and I mean, that's a credit to a lot of the live stuff. Hearing new versions of Midnight in Harlem, they're always impactful and emotional. But before I continue ranting too much, thank you again, guys.
Adam, thanks
Let
as
you
always,
enjoy the
Adam.
rest of your evenings. You got it. Thanks, guys. Good to connect.
Thanks, Adam.
Susann as well. Thank you.
Yep.
Talk soon, guys.
Bye.
Bye. So there you go. What was that? Episode 179, recapping TTB in Raleigh. That was super fun. Talking to Randy and Susann and Jay. Yeah. Now I feel like I was there. I know about the bathrooms and looking at the pictures and going through the set lists and all that. Yeah, good stuff all around. Hope everyone's doing okay out there. Please check out at Tedeschi Trucks Podcast on Instagram. Follow and subscribe on all the listening platforms and iTunes, Spotify, Odyssey, however you listen, iHeart. Definitely subscribe on YouTube. Give the show likes, shares, comments. Patreon.com/TTB Podcast to support Tedeschi Trucks, podcast.com. AdamChoit.com for everything related to everything else I'm working on and up to. TedeschiTrucksBand.com is their official website. Definitely the band's official website. Definitely buy merch. tickets to, well, I don't know what's left. We got 4 shows. Probably everything's probably sold out, close to sold out. So hurry up if you're in Charlotte, Atlanta, or New York City for the Hurricane fundraiser. I think that's pretty much all I got. Join the Swamp Family fan club. Download the app. It's worth it. I mean, now's a great time to join, I think, because you can get, I think you can still get the fan access password for Nugs to watch these live streams next weekend, the 15th and 16th. I'm excited for those. But I think that's about all I got for today. Again, thank you for listening, everyone. Thank you to the band, crew, fans, podcast supporters, guests. And let's I'll get something going for the Charlotte shows in Atlanta and MSG fundraiser. But let's talk soon. Peace.